Let's go.
I'm in the show.
أهلا وسهلا بكم أهلي وأحبتي في الوطن العربي الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، وصلاة وسلاما على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أهلي وأصحابي وأصدقائي، اليوم معنا المحامي العظيم الكبير، محامي 24,000 تأشيرة، محامي 11,000 كيس إن شاء الله في قضية Good Luck، المحامي كيرتيس موريسون. Mr. Morrison, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Sahir.
Great. So at first, I'd like to welcome you and our streaming for the Arab speakers. As we all know, we have more than 4,000 plaintiffs of yours in speaking Arabic. So they've been waiting for you, and they have a lot of questions already. Should we start going on?
That's fine. We can just jump into questions.
Anything you want to say before we start questions?
No, because everything I would say would be to a different group. Because as you know, we have multiple lawsuits, 3 for DB 2020, 3 for DB 2021, and then some other lawsuits also. So I just generally, I hope everybody is taking care of themselves and remembering to relax and not get too stressed out. You could translate that.
أنا سألت السيد موريسون، أول حاجة حضرتك عايز تقول حاجة للسادة الحضور قبل ما نبتدي الأسئلة. هو قال هو يفضل يخش في الأسئلة علشان الأسئلة هتكون هتبقى لكل الفئات تقريبا. Let's start with English, like right there.
Okay. Hello, Iman. How are you, Mr. Morrison? Do you expect the final verdict to be on July 19th, or will the judge postpone its verdict for another hearing? For future questions, indicate the lawsuit that you are in and the one you're talking about, because we represent people that are Arabic speakers in a lot of lawsuits. So I'm assuming that you're talking about the Good Luck case, and I would not expect a judgment on the day of the hearing. Very complicated issues. It will take the judge some time to write the order. It will be 20 to 100 pages. So I would expect it within a week of the order, maybe by August 1st, but I would not expect it the day of the hearing.
أختنا إيمان السعداوي بتسأل السيد موريسون، هل تتوقع ان احنا هناخد حكم يوم 19/7 ولا هيبقى في جلسة هيرنج غيرها؟ طبعا المحامي هنا بيقول لإيمان أهلا وسهلا، ولكل السادة لو سمحتوا السؤال يبقى تقول انت 2020 او 2021 2021 2022 2020 وتقول على اللاسوت اللي انت بتتكلم عليها، اذا كنا بنتكلم على جود لوك او غيرها. يا ايمان، المحامي كيرتيس موريسون بيقول لحضراتكم في 19/7 المفروض ان هيبقى في هيرنج، لكن هو ما توقعش ان الحكم يبقى في نفس اليوم او في نفس الجلسه. الحكم هيبقى من 100 او 120 صفحه، فهو يتوقع ان الوقت ده ياخد اسبوع من القاضي أميت مهتا. And here's the next one. This is Hussam Khalil, and he's trying to reach you to tell you that he's so frustrated about the being on the 4th tier, and if that is in your agenda.
If you're a participant in our litigation, we are challenging the tiered approach. Yeah. So, well, let's not publicly talk about an individual's status, but yes, we are challenging the tiered approach. Okay.
احنا بناخد الاولويات وهو حاطط في الاولويات في مرافعاته الموضوع.
Right. Congress was very specific when they passed what's called the Immigration Nationality Act, the immigration laws. Congress did not say you could do this. That they did not tell the State Department they could create a tiered approach prioritization scheme. So we will challenge it. We do think it is unlawful.
الرد هنا على حسام برضو بيقول لما الكونجرس حط حط الناشوناليتي وحط الدي في وحط نظم الهجرة ما حطش فيها تيرز، ما حطش فيها بريوريتي بالمنظر ده، ولذلك هو هيحط دي من اولى اولوياته انه يتكلم فيها امام القاضي. Okay.
We're getting like maybe 20 questions a second.
Yeah.
Y'all need to slow down, everybody.
Okay. مرحبا سيد أتلقى من 8 شهور وأشهر فرصتي ضاعت القضية. This Omar MH from Syria, and we all know what happened with Syria, and they don't have even an embassy open now. His number is like 27,000. He never received anything from KCC ever since he sent his documents. Is good luck getting help with this? Was his case, since he did not receive any confirmation?
If he is a plaintiff in good luck, and we are successful in getting the order, then I hope so.
السيد موريسون بيقول لعمر لو حضرتك من ضمن المدعين في قضية جو، ولو احنا اخذنا قرار ايجابي من القاضي أميت مهتا، فهو القرار ان شاء الله هيخدم حضرتك. Okay. This is, but I still have to tell you that this question, sir. He's 2020. He said, "Good evening, and what do you expect for the last verdict for Judge Mehta about 2020?"
Okay, and anybody that's DV 2020 that's getting ready to type a question, let me stop you. So, DV 2020. We're waiting on two things. We're waiting on Judge Mehta's final judgment in the Gomez order, and there is no date associated with the hearing. There's no date associated with when he has to issue that by. When he gets that order done, he will publish it. He might need a hearing, he might not. That's the first thing I want you to say.
يبقى المحامي كيرتيس موريسون بيقول اي حد هيسالنا دلوقتي عن 2020 خد بالك ان احنا مستنيين قرار من القاضي. ممكن يطلع في يوم، ممكن يطلع في اكتر، ممكن يطلع بجلسه، ممكن يطلع بدون جلسه، لكن احنا ما عندناش علم ايه اللي هيتقال. ده اول حاجه. Next.
Okay. And Raphael and I have been, we hired a lobbyist last year that every month is lobbying Congress, members of Congress, to fix the DV problem. And we've told him that if he can fix it for 2020 and 2021, that's good too. I just give him the check last weekend for the next month, and we're going to continue paying him and continue to lobbying Congress. So there's a possibility that we could get relief from that route too. That's ongoing. I don't have an update for that because it's more of a discrete approach.
في المرحلة الثانية من الإجابة على السؤال بيقول لحضراتكم إن هو وشريكه المحامي رافائيل أرينا لا زالوا يدعمون لوبي داخل الكونغرس الأمريكي ويدفعون أموال لأشخاص يتولون ذلك داخل الكونغرس الأمريكي، وهم يحاولون أن يظهروا الضرر على 2020 كما يظهروا الضرر على 2021. وهو لسه دافع الشيك بتاع الشهر اللي جاي للصرف على هذه الحملة داخل الكونغرس، ولكن ما عندهوش أي أبديت أكتر من ذلك. Do you expect the judge to speed interview first? Okay, do you want to say something about that question again?
It disappeared before I could read it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking about the previous one.
No.
Next. Okay. Do you expect the judge to speed up interviews first or file visas? Good luck, lawsuit 2021. She is.
Great question. You want to translate the question and then
إيمان السعداوي بتقول هل تتوقع أن القاضي هيسرع المقابلات الأول ولا هيحجز التأشيرات؟ I think she's trying to say if he gonna speed it up or just go ahead and reserve visas.
Right. What we expect is we hope and expect that they will issue an order causing visas to be issued as soon as possible. It could play out to where there's just one order that does that and they turn the process back on. Or it could turn out to where there's two orders. There's like last year, there's an order that turns the process back on, but the State Department still doesn't issue enough visas, so then they have to issue another order. Either of those things can happen. And I can't predict the future. We don't know which of those things will happen, but it's possible that we'll get one order. It's possible that we'll get two orders. Either of those things can happen.
طيب هنا الرد على الأخت إيمان السعداوي زي ما انتم شايفين التساؤل هل هيبقى في أمر بالتسريع، تتوقع أمر بتسريع التأشيرات ولا أمر بحجز التأشيرات مباشرة؟ المحامي كيرتيس موريسون بيقول هو يأمل إن الكل يبقى في قرار واحد، تسريع وحجز التأشيرات، لكن في الغالب ممكن يبقى قرارين زي ما شفنا في 2020 لما القاضي أميت مهتا أمر بالتسريع أولا وفتح السفارات وبدء المقابلات، وبعدين في آخر شهر 9 أمر بحجز التأشيرات. من الصعب إن احنا نتنبأ بالفيوتشر بالمستقبل، ولكن هي دي النظرة اللي هم شايفينها ومتوقعينها. تعبنا يعني ظروف أستاذ غويلة خليل لطري. He's telling you his frustration and very bad situation happening to his family, Khalil al-Jazairi from Algeria. Just because here Khalil al-Jazairi, he's a media guy from Algeria, and he's taken now there's like 6 to 10 families are stuck in Algeria. They have the visas from 2020, and as we all know that they're supposed to use, they still can use it up based on Meta's judgment and decision on February when the proclamation collapsed. I like to call it collapsed. And right. And they're stuck in Algeria. The authorities in Algeria does not know that them visas are not expired, and they refuse to let them on board. So that's why he's so frustrated about it.
Okay. I'm glad that he came here for that question. Before, I was taking these situations individually to the U.S. attorney in the Gomez case and having them handle it. And then I learned that the Gomez counsel would prefer that they handle it. And they have someone on staff that helps with this and works with the U.S. attorney to fix this when it happens. So I can tell you who that is. Let me see right now because I might get it wrong. It's Jordan Cunnings, Jordan at innovationlawlab.org. That is the person that is fielding fielding accepting the inquiries from the DV 2020 class members of Gomez and solving their problems. So that's who to contact, jordan@innovationlawlab.org. I want to say one more thing. Every single DV 2020 that had one of those visas, they expire before August 24th. That's the drop dead date for all of them, but most of them expire several days before that. It's dependent upon a math calculation that's individual to your original validity date. So I'm really concerned about this group of people that have not entered the US yet because time is ticking.
الأستاذ خليل المحامي موريسون بيقول لحضرتك ورفاق حضرتك من الدكتور مصطفى والباقين يختص بأمر حضراتكم محامي اسمه جوردن موجود في فريق قضية جوميز. المحامي موريسون فعلا يتحرك قلبه لمعاناتكم وهو متشوق جدا لحلول لحضراتكم. المحامي جوردن موجود مع فريق ادعاء قضية جوميز وهو المختص بالظروف الميدانية للانديفيدوالز للأشخاص اللي عندهم مشاكل. أنصح حضرتك بالتواصل معه أنت ورفاقك. كمان المحامي كيرتيس موريسون بيذكر حضرتك وبيذكر الكل ان المفروض ان اخر موعد للتأشيرات اغسطس 24 اغسطس ولكن هناك بعض الحالات تكون قبل ذلك بايام فاحذروا الوقت يداهمنا. Time is ticking. Next question, sir. Okay. So it says about embassies how can you press on embassy, especially embassy of Cairo? So this is Raif Rafiq.
Right.
He's with us in good luck.
Okay.
And,
so here, let's not give background information on our clients.
Yep.
And okay, whatever's here is all we need to know, right, Rafiq? The answer to his question is we use lawsuits. So in this case, like you said, he's in good luck. We're going to ask the court to intervene. The court orders the State Department what to do. Okay, so that's how we do it. It's indirectly. We can't apply a pressure individually to an embassy because we don't have what's called leverage. We don't have. There's no reason for them to listen to us. We can't order them what to do, but a court can. Okay, the court can order State Department to do. So that's why my focus and my team's focus is the litigation and the lawsuit. It seems like, why are you doing that? It's because that's how we indirectly get Cairo to turn back on.
طيب الأستاذ موريسون هنا بيقول لرائف ولغير رائف من المشتركين في القضية الموضوع مش انك تضغط على الامباسي، مش موضوع انك تضغط على القاهرة. هو بيحاول الوصول لقرار من القاضي، هو يخاطب القاضي والقاضي يصدر حكما على الخارجية، والخارجية هي رئيسة السفارات المختلفة. فالضغط يكون بطريقة غير مباشرة بالتقاضي، ولهذا نحن نلجأ للقضاء يا رفيق. Here, ما توقعاتك in your opinion what did happen to Jacob, which is Rosalind?
Right. Well, here's the thing. When they just said Jacob lawsuit, I don't know if they're DVs or they're family preference category plaintiffs. All the family preference category plaintiffs in the Jacob lawsuit have been dismissed from that case, but they are still our clients, and we will continue to work for them, and they will get an email about that today if they didn't already.
بالنسبة للأستاذ محمد عبد الحميد، لازم توضح لنا الأول أنت من أي فئة في قضية جيكوب اللي بقى اسمها روزلاند. لو أنت دي في فأنت لسه مستمر في القضية، لو أنت مش دي في فأنت تم إنهاء القضية ولكنك لسه مدعي مع كيرتيس موريسون وسيقوم بإبلاغك بالجديد. لو سمحتوا اللي يتكلم عن جيكوب بيقول لنا هو في أي كاتيجوري. Yes, sir.
Yeah, and the second thing I want to say is the Jacob case is now Rosales, like you said, and we expect and hope that we will get a class action certification and a order on our motion for preliminary injunction in that case before the end of the month. There's a hearing in the middle of July, and we hope that the Jacob case can provide relief for the named plaintiffs, the Jacob case, the Rosales case, for the named plaintiffs, giving them some priority for being class representatives, but also it will help the class. It will help turn on the DV program. So that's an important case for everyone to watch, the Rosales case.
بيقول لك يا محمد عبد الحميد، روزاليس اللي هي كانت جيكوب قضية مهمة جدا 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 لكل الدي في 2021، لأن القضية دي سيتم الجلسة بتاعتها في منتصف شهر يوليو، في منتصف يوليو، وهم مقدمين سيرتيفيكيشن للكلاس اكشن، ولو اخذوا سيرتيفيكيشن للكلاس اكشن هيكون البريترايز هنا للمدعين، والمدعين هيخشوا اولا بصفتهم هم مدعين للكلاس سيرتيفيكيشن، وهذا ما يأمله المحامي كيرتيس موريسون. You want to go next, sir?
I want to say one more thing, Mohammed. Change your profile picture. I think embassies are sensitive about seeing military images in social media. I've seen that happen in the past. So it doesn't matter what side, they just don't like to see that.
That's a movie. That's a show, a sub.
Yeah.
الأستاذ بيقول لك يا محمد عبد الحميد، يا ريت تغير أي شيء عن أي شيء عسكري على البروفايل بتاعك، خصوصا الصورة بتاعتك. في السفارات هم حساسين جدا للسلاح والجيوش والسياسة في ملفاتك، وهم هيشوفوا الكلام ده، فبينصحك تغير الصور العسكرية اللي على بروفايلك. Let's go next. So next، أنا وزوجتي فازت his wife won 2021 ولم نتقابل حتى الآن، وسلكت في القضية وأنا حاليا في أمريكا، فيزا سياحة. هل وجودي في أمريكا يمكنني من الإقامة؟ So this is Selma and Lynn. Them are his daughters. Okay, he said his wife won 2021 visa and they did not have an interview in Egypt. He's from Egypt, but now they are in the USA with a visitor visa. This is not the same person I'm talking about. I talked to you about before. Okay. So is there any way that he can adjust his status?
Right. Okay.
And he's in good luck case.
Okay.
That's what he writes. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. So if you are a DV selectee who is located in the U.S., the adjustment of status option is one that you can consider, but I would only consider that with using an immigration attorney, because you want an immigration attorney to attend your interview with you. Here, translate that and I'll go on.
بالنسبة لك يا أبو سلمى ولين، أي adjustment of status ممكن تعمله، لكن لازم يكون معاك محامي هجرة، علشان المحامي الهجرة لازم وضروري جدا يدخل معاك الانترفيو. Yes.
Okay. Our firm, Mوريسون Urena, we only do adjustment of status in Los Angeles and New York. Those are the two locations. So if you are anywhere other than that, you need to find an immigration attorney that's close to where you're at, not us, because we only do Los Angeles and New York City.
بالنسبة للadjustment of status وال I-485 اللي انت عايز تعملها يا أبو سلمى ولين، فمكتب السيد موريسون وشريكه أرينا هم مختصين بولايتي Los Angeles or California?
Los Angeles or New York City.
مدينة لوس أنجلوس ومدينة نيويورك سيتي فقط. فلو كنت من سكان هذه هاتين المدينتين يمكنك الذهاب إلى كيرتيس موريسون أو رافائيل أرينا في الحال، ولكن إن لم تكن قريبا منهما فعليك إيجاد محامي هجرة يدخل معاك الانترفيو، وهذا ضروري جدا جدا جدا. Yes, sir.
A couple more things to say about this. You're running out of time. Adjustment of status is a process that takes months also. So if you have not yet filed for it, there's a chance that you may not get it before the end of September 30th. So I would recommend you, if you want to pursue that, pursue it quickly. Time is of the essence.
الوقت يداهمك يا أبو سلمى ولين، والadjustment of status يأخذ وقتا ويأخذ شهور وليس شيء سريع. فينصحك إذا ما كنتش ابتديت في الadjustment of status ابدأ فورا فيها. إذا كان عندك النية إنك تبدأ لازم تبدأ فورا في الadjustment of status، لأن time is taken. الوقت يداهمنا، لازم يقبلوا حالتك قبل يوم 30/9 وإلا هيفوت عليك الميعاد. Anything else with that?
One more thing. If you're not in the U.S. currently, adjustment of status is not an option for you. Adjustment of status is only an option to pursue if you're already in the U.S. and it's not lawful to enter the U.S. to permanently reside in the U.S. So the decision cannot be made before you enter the U.S.
حضرتك لازم تاخد في اعتبارك وكل الناس اللي عايزين يعملوا adjustment status، كل الناس اللي معاهم تأشيرة سياحة، من الخطأ أن تدخل أمريكا بتأشيرة سياحة بغرض البقاء. فلو ما كنتش أنت موجود في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية already يا أبو سلمى ولين سفراء الصعيد، يبقى ما تحاولش تعمل أي شيء إلا إذا كنت على الأراضي الأمريكية بالفعل. Yep. Should we go next?
Okay. Yes, next. That's a good question.
هل القاضي في سلطانه أن يجبر السفارات تشتغل وتعمل أكبر عدد من في naval officer, and he say, does the judge have the authority enough to force or push or order the embassies to start working in bigger capacity than what they're doing now before the end of the fiscal year?
Yes, but I don't expect he's going to order individual embassies to do that. He's going to order the State Department to change their policies. And the indirect benefit will be the embassies will start to do that.
يبقى نفس الإجابة على السؤال اللي قبل كده. القاضي مش هيدفع السفارات، القاضي هيؤمر وزارة الخارجية رئيسة السفارات والخارجية هي التي ستدفع السفارات إلى الفتح والتسريع. Yes, sir.
That's it.
Next.
Yeah.
من المدعين فقط ولا class action؟ هل تتوقع؟ This one is asking, but she did not specify which class action she's talking about.
Well, there's only one class action.
Yeah.
Well, there's one for DV 2020 and there's one proposed for DV 2021. So, can you tell?
Yeah. So,
can you tell?
She say on the is the beneficiary from who get the benefit from the lawsuit? Is it just the plaintiffs, or it's a class action?
Well, I can answer it like this. There are only two class actions when it comes to DVs. For DV 2020, the class action is Gomez, and it is a class that includes all DV 2020 selectees that were not issued a visa by when the order was issued. I think I can't remember actually the detail on that, but it was inclusive of all, almost all. And then DV 2021, there's only one case, and it's a proposed class action. It's not actually certified yet. The Jacob case, which is now Rosales, and how that definition will be defined by the judge, we don't know because the case has not been certified yet. You have to wait for the judge to certify the class action before you know what the definition of the class is.
اوكي سو يا مروه، هو انت هنا لو بتتكلمي على 2020 فده موضوع 2020 انكم كلاس اكشن طبقا لقضيه جوميز. اما في قضيه 2021 هناك قضيه واحده حتى الان هي الكلاس اكشن او التي بصدد كلاس اكشن اللي هي كانت جيكوب بادروزلاس، وهذه القضيه لسه مستنيين نشوف حكم القاضي هيقول ايه. ده بالنسبه للقضيه في 2021. هم قضيتين 2020 و 2021. السلام عليكم. He said, Assalamu alaikum. We are from Iraq and plaintiffs in your lawsuit. We're waiting for the confirmation message email from Kentucky, from KCC, and then switch to another embassy, or what should we do? They're talking about the embassy in Baghdad and it's closed.
Right. So great question, because I need to explain this. Whether you can transfer depends on where your application is in the process. Okay, you can translate.
مقدرتك على تغيير مكان المقابلة يتوقف على أين أنت من عملية الكي سي سي. أين مرحلتك؟ أي مرحلة وصلت أنت؟ Yes.
So if your documents are not approved yet, if KCC has not approved your documents, there's an advantage to that, because you can email KCC and they can assign it to a different embassy.
بيقول لحضرتك لو انت ما وصلكش جواب الكونفirmation، لو ما وصلكش الدي كيو، ما وصلكش جواب تأكيد الوثائق، فهنا فرصتك انك تبعت لكي سي سي فورا تطلب منهم تغيير مكان المقابلة. ودي الحالة الوحيدة، الشيء الكويس الوحيد من انك لسه ما اخدتش دي كيو. يبقى هنا عرفنا كلنا اللي ما وصلوش دي كيو، اللي ما وصلوش جواب وثائق، تقدر تغير مكان المقابلة بمجرد انك تكلم كي سي سي، تبعت لهم ايميل تطلب منهم تغيير المقابلة على المكان الفلاني. Yes sir.
Wait 4 weeks. It takes 4 weeks for them to answer your email.
مش هيجاوبوك قبل 4 أسابيع. تذكر انه 4 أسابيع حتى يجاوبوك.
Now, if your documents have already been approved by KCC, you're stuck. You cannot transfer until until you're scheduled an interview at the embassy you don't want. You cannot transfer if your documents are already approved.
لو انت وصل لك جواب الكونفirmation وجواب تأكيد الوثائق او الدي كيو بأي طريقة انت بتقولها او بأي طريقة انت شايفها، اصبح مش هتقدر تغير موعد او مكان موعد في سفارة غير السفارة اللي اتحددت لك. لازم ينقضي اولا الموعد بتاعك وبعدين تشوف هتقدر تعمل ايه. Yes sir.
That is not, it's not fair. I would just say it's not fair. I wish that we could fix that, but I don't think that we will. The State Department is just doing something not fair.
هو شايف ان ده مش عدل، لكن هي دي قواعدهم اللي شغالين بيها، وهو شايف ان ده مش عدل. هو بيتأسف لك على الكلام ده، لكن طبعا مش غلطته. أنا رقمي my case number 1500. I got an email confirmation from KCC long time ago, but ever since I didn't get anything else in the embassy, Cairo embassy, Cairo, Egypt, and they don't work properly. سؤالي هل ما زال هناك أمل الحصول على فيزا خاصة بعد انضمام قضيتهم؟ Now, do you think his hope increased because he became now a plaintiff and good luck? So again, his case number over 15,000. He got a DQ letter already, email, embassy of Cairo, but ever since he didn't hear from them. Do you think his chances have increased? He got better chances when he joined the good luck lawsuit?
I do think that. But we have to hope and expect that we will get a relief and an order from the judge. That's what we're waiting on. I can't promise you that, but I expect that, yes, your odds have improved by joining Good Luck.
هو شايف ان حظوظك بتتنامى لما تدخل في القضية فعلا. هو ما يقدرش يوعدك بأي شيء إلا بحكم القاضي، ولكن هو برضو هيلفت نظر القاضي لناس زي حضرتك. This is Muhammad Wafa, and he say he had his 2020 and he had an interview on April which was canceled.
He's talking about April of last year, right?
Last year, yes. So, do you think
he's in the same?
If the order for the 9,095 visa was issued by the judge, do you think he got chances? Since he got an interview and it was canceled.
Yeah, he's in the similar situation of many DV 2020 selectees. And what the order means depends on what it says. I get most of the questions I receive are DV 2020 selectees asking me to predict the future. I cannot tell you what Judge Mehta is going to write in an order or tell you what it means until he writes it. So you'll need to be patient, and that question is a question we will be able to answer after an order is issued.
انت في نفس المكان اللي فيه ناس كتير يا محمد يا وافا، وتملي السؤال اللي بيجي لكيرتيس موريسون، انت شايف ايه في المستقبل بالنسبه ل 2020؟ احنا ما نقدرش نشوف ايه اللي بيحصل في المستقبل، لكن موقفك متوقف على قرار القاضي. مش بس القاضي هيقول ادوهم 9095 تأشيرة ولا لا، كمان ممكن القاضي يقول مين يخش قبل مين اللي هياخد الأولوية، أو ما يديش خالص أو يزود. لكن احنا كلنا لازم نصمت تماما وننتظر كلام القاضي عميد مهتا في خصوص قضية جوميز. Next. This is all English. Mr. Mوريسون, I am 2021. While you're reading it, I'll translate it.
Right, you translated it into Arabic.
أنا 2021 وليس من مدعين قضية Good Luck. Now that you launch, هل ستصدر قضية أخرى؟ Kindly note that there are hundreds of ونحيط علمكم بأن مئات لم وأنا أزيد thousands, not only hundreds, ما اشتركوش في قضايا. Yes, sir.
So, hello, Kamal. No, we will not be filing another lawsuit for DV 2021 selectees. We recommend you watch the Rosales case because it could impact you.
بالنسبة لكمال، أنت والناس اللي ما دخلوش قضايا، إحنا أو كيرتيس موريسون مش هيقدر يرفع قضايا أخرى، أو قرر إنه مش هيقدر يرفع قضايا أخرى عن DV 2021. وبينصحك إنك تراقب الوضع لقضية روزاليس اللي هي كانت جيكوب. لو أخذت كلاس أكشن يبقى ليك حظوظ إن شاء الله. This is a repeated complaint. They complaining about the embassy in Abu Dhabi, UAE. They interview only singles, not families, and if rarely meet a family, it's a family of two.
Okay, so this is not what our lawsuit is, though. That's the thing. I get a lot of people that come to me and says, this is not fair, this is not right, this is wrong. I could make a list of hundreds of things the State Department does that are wrong, not fair, poor management, incompetence. But our focus to get the visas needs to be on what is unlawful, okay? It's not clear what they're doing there is unlawful. So we need to stay on track and focus on challenging the tiered prioritization scheme, which we believe is unlawful. That's what we challenge. That's what our focus is. I've heard those reports about the only interviewing singles too, and it concerns me, but understand that can't be our focus. The government wins if we lose focus.
طبعا هنا بيقول الوضع اللي انت بتقول عليه يا محمد يا عبد ليس لدينا دليل قوي عليه ويصعب اثباته، ولكن احنا هنخلي تركيزنا حتى نملك شيء يقول ان في شيء غير قانوني بيتبعوه في بعض السفارات، ولكن احنا تركيزنا دلوقتي على البريترايز والاربع تيرز اللي قالوا عليهم والاولويات، وضع الدي في في الاولويه السفلى، وهو ده التركيز الرئيسي لقضيه جود لك وللمحامي كيرتيس موريسون وشريكه ارينا. Now there is a question from a Go Planetive. He's this guy's in here. That's my best friend anyway. He say, welcome Mr. Morrison. If the judge issue order to issue the visas for all the litigations, he means Go and Good Luck and the others. And do you think there is enough time in 2 months to issue visas for everybody in the lawsuits?
Thanks for the question, Fauzi. Yes, I do. And my proof of that is September 2020, the very last week, State Department issued 5,000 DV visas, okay? So if they can do 5,000 in 1 week, if you give them 8 weeks, they can do 40,000. 40,000 gets them close, considering they've already issued 2,000. It gets them close to where they're making a good effort, right? And that's just based on that 1 week. So I think it is possible. Whether or not they will perform remains to be seen. We have to wait and see. I know a lot of people just say, oh, no, they can't do that. If a judge orders the State Department to do something, it's my experience that the State Department does it. They don't ignore the order.
يا فوزي ولكل الناس، عايزين نذكر الناس باللي حصل في سبتمبر الماضي. من يوم 4 سبتمبر صدر القرار، لم تعمل السفارات بشكل جيد إلا أسبوع واحد. 1 week. Yes, it was from the 4th of September until the end of September, but they actually work only 1 week. هم اشتغلوا بالفعل 1 week, not 3 weeks like everybody said. الشغل actual work was like a week. فإذا كانوا في الأسبوع ده هم ادونا 5,000، يبقى في ال8 أسابيع ادونا 40,000. ليه لا؟ أنت اللي عملت كده، وأنت وأقصى تقدير في الشهر عملت حوالي 6,000 تأشيرة، يبقى في الشهرين المفروض تديني على الأقل 12,000 تأشيرة. Yes, sir.
Something interesting about that is what motivated them to do that. The Kennedy case. When we filed the Kennedy lawsuit, they realized that they were vulnerable to losing on the PI motion to Kennedy unless they issued a bunch of visas. And so their surge of issuing visas in the last week of September was designed to impress the court, and they didn't issue enough. So they learned a lesson. You can't impress a court just by coming in. You can't try to do your homework on the last hour before it's due. You have to make efforts before then. So I think that was a good lesson for them and good information for us for this year.
Okay. So I said you remind me Manuel Jose, the coach for Ali sometimes. He's tough as well. السيد موريسون بيقول مين اللي دعاهم انهم يشتغلوا بجهد اكبر في نهايه شهر ديسمبر، ونهايه المهله اللي اداها لهم القاضي كانت قضيه كينيدي. ضغط عليهم مكتب موريسون وارينا بقضيه جديده اضافها على ملفات قضايا كونسوليديتد امام القاضي أميت مهتا، وضغط عليهم فتخوفت الحكومه وحاولت انها تبهر القاضي. شايف احنا شغالين كويس اهو علشان القاضي ما يصدرش قرار اعنف ضدهم، وكانت هذه نتيجه من نتائج اضافه كينيدي الى الكونسوليديتد كيسز. Yes sir. Next.
Okay.
I was hesitant about this one, but I know you're brave enough. You take any questions. So this one here, let me translate it so I take it off the screen, okay?
Wait, I want to keep reading it. No, stop. Okay, I have the answer to this question. No, we are not dividing the plaintiffs in good luck into categories because the plaintiffs in good luck are not suing each other. You are not adversaries to each other. We're suing the U.S. government. The U.S. government is your adversary. If you want to fight between yourselves, well, then you need to find another lawyer to do that. That's not what I do. I'm bringing all the claims for all of our plaintiffs. I want all of our plaintiffs to be issued visas, and that's who we're going to the State Department. That's why we're going to the court, to get the State Department to get visas in hand for our named plaintiffs. I do not have time to argue between different categories of plaintiffs in different situations.
السؤال هنا كان بيقول للسيد موريسون أنا مقدر اهتمامك ومجهوداتك يا ديفايدد. أنت قسمت لكاتيجوريز، وهو ما قال السيد موريسون لم يحدث أنه يقسمهم لكاتيجوريز. There is those who received the confirmation letter. من وصلهم الconfirmation لم يحدث محمد الطيب. This is not true. This did not happen. And there is those who completed sending their documents. وهناك من الخلطة اللي أنت عاملها يا محمد يا طيب ما حصلتش. أنا سايب السؤال علشان الناس تسمع الإجابة. السيد موريسون كانت إجابته على سؤالك بأن السيد موريسون ما حطش categories في good luck. خد good luck one package. كل الدي في 2021 plaintiffs اللي عنده دخل بيهم للقاضي. نحن ليس عندنا فئات، ولو عايزين تعملوا فئات روحوا قضية أخرى، لكن فئة واحدة DV 2021 selectees and plaintiffs of the good luck lawsuit هم بيواجهوا الخارجية الأمريكية والإدارة الأمريكية والحكومة. لذلك يأتي بقرار واحد، حكم واحد للجميع، وليس هناك فئات. أكرر، محمد الطيب، ليس هناك فئات في good luck، كلها فئة واحدة. شكرا. Anything you want to say about this question again?
No, I think
Okay.
I got a little too excited. I didn't mean
Me too.
to be offensive or anything, but I've already gone through this in another lawsuit with the Jacob family preference, and so I just want everybody to stay clear that we're on the same team, and our opponent is not each other; it's the government.
عايز يذكر حضراتكم الكلام ده كان من وقت قليل في قضية جيكوب اللي بعت روزاليس، وكانت فئات، ولكن في هذه القضية ليس هناك فئات، فئة واحدة. Okay, this is Serena from Iraq. It's closed. I'm 3,000. She's in go. Okay. أنا مشترك في القضية وأنا مقرر قبل إرسال الDV. So this is a go plaintiff. So please allow me to skip this, and I will tell her.
Well, that's okay.
Okay.
I know that her attorney won't answer it. So
asking, she's from Iraq, and the Iraqi embassy is closed.
Right.
Do you recommend that they change to Jordan?
Yes.
And what do you think?
Yes. I'm glad that she asked that question. Many of our good luck plaintiffs have that same question. I've seen it in English, actually, in the comments. In our experience, when we get a court order, the State Department will let us transfer cases pretty liberally. They'll let us move your cases from one embassy to the other if you're a named plaintiff in the case. If you can move your embassy from Baghdad now, please do it. Email KCC. I recommend them on. But understand we will have more leverage to do it. Or in your case, since you're in Go, you will have more leverage after you get a final judgment in your case. It's hard to get the embassy to do something before you have that order. Okay.
طيب بالنسبة لسيرينا مون أنا قلت للمحامي هل ده سؤال جو مش عايز ترد عليه خليني أعمل سكيب، فهو قال لي لا، عندنا ناس كتير في قضيتنا موجودين مع قضيتنا بنفس الطريقة وعندهم مقابلات في أماكن مختلفة، ولكن تقدري دلوقتي يا سيرينا قبل ما يوصل لك الكونفirmation انك تطلبي من KCC تغيير مكان المقابله، ولكن هتبقى كمان اسهل لك وفرصتك هتبقى احسن بعد ما تاخدوا قرار في جو. وده شيء بيحصل، انه تملي بيحصل في القضايا بعد ما بتاخدي حكم. الخارجيه الامريكيه ديبارتمنت ستيت بتخلي المحامين يقدروا يطلبوا اماكن اخرى. Regarding this, sir, I want to tell you something that I have many plaintiffs or followers that come to me and saying that they're from Syria. Mm-hmm. And there is some restrictions on Syrian going to Jordan. Some of them already missed their interview.
Right.
And that is a big problem.
Right. Okay. Lawsuits do not solve boundary closures, political problems. Lawsuits don't solve those problems. What lawsuits do is solve the problems at the State Department. Okay. So if the State Department is not allowing you to transfer to an embassy you can get to, like say you can get to Beirut in Lebanon, but the State Department will not let you transfer your case. If we win our order and we get a PI, a preliminary injunction order from the judge, then the State Department will help us with transferring those cases. But right now, you know, the State Department's not very helpful.
طيب احنا اتخذنا الكلام ده فرصة ان احنا نتكلم عن بعض الناس المقيمين السوريين اللي عايزين يحولوا لعمان، والسوريين اللي راح عليهم انترفيو في عمان بالفعل وما قدروش يعدوا الحدود. اللاسوت ما بتبقاش للاغراض السياسيه، يصعب جدا 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 الكلام ده، وما نقدرش نجبر السلطات على ادخالك من الحدود. ولكن لو انت موجود في قضيه من القضايا او في قضيه جود لك، فهم سيعكسوا موقفك للقاضي وسيعكسوا موقفك للخارجيه الامريكيه فور وجود قرار من القاضي لصالح البلينتيفز، وفي الحاله دي يقدروا يخاطبوا السفاره ويحاولوا يوجدوا لك موعد في مكان تقدر عليه. Anything about that? Should I go next?
No, next.
Next. This one, 2022. Okay. He put a wrong name. He put one or two figures in the passport was wrong.
Not
Do you
good.
think he better forget it?
I don't know. That's not my area of expertise.
Amen. Yes. So السؤال مش للمحامي، تسأل حد مختص في الموضوع أفضل. أقصد
the English translation.
Yeah, the English translation just push everything vice versa. When you put like KCC and numbers, that masks the whole writing, so I have to find it.
Okay, I understand.
Yeah. السلام عليكم. هل مراسلة أقصد هل ممكن أن يحدث تشابك مع بوجود. So I think if I can figure it out, how important is G28? But he's asking about, is there any conflict would happen if you, as his lawyer or your office, email KCC on his behalf? If he emailed KCC too, is there any conflict going to happen? Is that going to affect him badly?
No, there's no conflict. We both want the same thing.
نفس الموضوع مش هيبقى فيه مشكلة يا كناني برنس. In this case, we would like to tell people how important is G28. Every day, the plaintiff asking me what is the purpose of G28? I tell them, how important is G28, please? In your case.
Well, we have several paralegals, I think 30, 40 paralegals that are helping good luck plaintiffs, and they can't help you if they don't have a G28. Now, when you signed up for the case, you could have checked a box that did it automatically. But if you did not check that box, then we will need to get G28 from you. Basically, the State Department does not acknowledge that we represent you unless you complete the G28. Either you check the box and we did it for you automatically, or you didn't, and now we have to manually get them. So it is important, because without that, we can't help get your interview after an order. You have to just wait and hope that the State Department does it on their schedule, and I don't like that. I don't like to leave things to the discretion of the State Department. You don't want to leave your future to the discretion of the State Department. That's not a good idea.
هو بيقول لك بيقول للكل أهمية الجي 28 هو إن المحامي يقدر يتواصل مع KCC باسمك ويتابع معاهم. إنه ليس من الحكمة أبدا أن تدع نفسك لعبة في يد خصمك. خصمك في القضية هو الخارجية الأمريكية. ليس من الحكمة أن تدع نفسك لهم، ولذلك بياخد منك هو G28 ويبحث مع الخارجية الأمريكية ماذا حدث مع كناني برنس. أين كناني برنس؟ كناني برنس لازم يخش الانترفيو بتاعه، وهكذا. ودي G28. في عند كيرتيس موريسون والله اوفيس وارينا عندهم 30 أو 40 باراليجل مفروض انهم موجودين علشان مساعدة حضرتك. لسه بيتم تعيين ناس كمان. عايزين نعرف منك لما كان في الابليكيشن كان المفروض تعمل صح على كلمة G28، ما عملتش صح. انت دلوقتي مضطر انك تطلب من الباراليجل بتاعك يبعت لك G28 مانيوال تملاها وتبعتها لنا عشان نقوم بالكلام ده مكانك يا اخ برنس. This is Araz Fayaq. He's Kurdish in Iraq, and it's in English.
Okay, as a plaintiff in good luck lawsuit, in case we get an order and succeed, our embassy in Iraq is closed. How can you help us? I've already answered this, Aras, to the Go plaintiff. If we get a favorable order, that means the State Department will help facilitate transfers. We learned that in lots of mandamus cases, but especially in our Mohammed and Fangjong cases for DV 2020 in September. My staff, especially Banan and Christina, probably transferred 50 or 100 cases in 2 weeks in September. Some of them they transferred more than once from one embassy into another. So I know that after we get an order, we will be better equipped. We will have the leverage we need to get the transfer to happen. We also learned that in the Young case. We transferred some cases as a result of the Young lawsuit too.
بيقول لك يا راز نفس الجواب ده، نفس السؤال ده جاوبناه لحد في قضية جو من شوية، ولكن هيزيدك من الشعر بيت. بعد الفوز في القضية بيبقى من استطاعة كيرتيس موريسون وفريقه والمحامين انهم يحولوك على سفارات اخرى، وفي بعض الاحيان محاولات متعددة. يعني واحد مثلا حول لعمان ما نفعش، حول لمكان تاني. بيحصل الكلام ده بعد قرار القاضي ان شاء الله. Now this one here is a usual frequent question all the time. This one here. He say, in case of we win the lawsuit, good luck. After the physical year, when do you think the appointment is going to be? The interview is going to be. So, in case of there's no decision before the 30th. what do you think going to happen for the interviews?
Okay, if there's no decision before the end of 30th, we didn't win. We lost. We have to get an order before the 30th. Those visas, the visa numbers actually disappear on midnight of the 30th. They do not exist if we do not get an order before the 30th.
لازم تعرف يا عثمان عباس ان هو القضيه معموله علشان ياخد قرار قبل يوم 30 وقبل نهايه السنه الماليه. الحالات بتنتهي يوم 30 منتصف الليل وبتختفي تماما. فهو كل القضيه معموله علشان قبل نهايه السنه الماليه مش بعد نهايه السنه الماليه. Let me take this one here. Most of lottery 2021 sent all documents required, but we not received confirmation mail from. How can you press? That's repeated. Right. I'm sorry. That is repeated. This one from them families in Algeria, and thank you for that. And I will go back to Mustafa Haji and tell him what you said. أستاذ مصطفى لو سمحت rewind وارجع كده هتعرف السيد كيرتيس موريسون قال إيه. He's one of the Algerian families that are stuck in Algeria with a valid visa that was expired and valid based on meta decision.
Right.
Okay. And this one is not written right. This one is 2020. I know 2021. من الفائزين 2021 ومدعين معكم في قضية good luck. لكن أرسلت وثائق شهر 11 ولم يتم إرسال إيميل معالجة. هل سيؤثر؟ So this is a repeated question. She did not receive the DQ. Would that affect her chances since she is good luck plaintiff as well? Does she still have the same chance like everybody else?
Right. I would say that people that were further along in the process that already have their DQ have an advantage over you if they are a good luck plaintiff too. But there's chaos and some randomness to the DV program. So you just have to wait and see.
المرشدة التربوية بيقول لحضرتك هو من الطبيعي اللي معاه دي كيو يبقى مقدم على حضرتك في الفرص، إنما لازم نقعد ونستنى قرار القاضي. Wait and see. He's from Algeria. Good evening. Thanks for Mr. Morrison. Anything new about the project Voyager? Voyager.
Right. So when people ask about Project Voyager, there's two parts to it. One part is we will assist the DV 2020's Project Voyager clients with consular processing once we get an order from Judge Mehta or we get relief from Congress. And there's no update on that because we don't have either of those things. The second part is lobbying. I think that's what you're asking about. And I'm glad you're asking about that. The lobbying effort is Bruce Morrison is our lobbyist. He's told us that it's a little it's best if it's done discreetly. So we don't give very specific updates on which members of Congress are leaning which ways and which bill we will get our language in. But that process is ongoing. Last week, I gave him a check for July. I'm going to continue lobbying Congress. To my knowledge, I'm the only human that is lobbying Congress on behalf of DVs. We have expanded the scope of the lobbying effort, and in that we say that if we could get the language that saves DV 2020s and DV 2021s, and if that's the only way that can happen, that's good too. You know, if we can get Congress to step in and save all the DVs, if they want to save them for prior years, we're not going to oppose that. We started out just looking out for DV 2020s. But if they want to, if Congress, if the way to get the language in a bill is to take care of 2021 or even other years, then we're okay with that. Just understand that's not the main hope. The main hope is those 9,000 visas that Judge Mehta has.
بيقول لحضرتك هنا استاذ زياد، هجيب لك اخر حاجه قالها، اهم حاجه ان احنا بنركز على 9095 تاشيره اللي اتكلم عليهم القاضي مهدي. ثانيا زي ما هو اتكلم قبل كده، وبيقول السؤال كويس انه جه تاني، زي ما اتكلم قبل كده هو بيعمل لوبينج على الكونجرس الامريكي في البروجكت فويجر. اللي حصل ان هو بيدعم الكلام ده، هم منتظرين نتيجة تيجي برضو من الكونجرس، لكن النتيجة الأساسية اللي منتظرينها من القاضي. لكن في حالة إن الكونجرس الأمريكي يتكلم عن 2020 أو 2021، إحنا هناخد القرار اللي هيجي. لو تضمن كل الدي في في كل السنوات برضو هناخد القرار ده، مش هنمانع في القرار ده. احنا مستنيين اي قرار من الكونجرس الامريكي من خلال اللوبينج اللي عمله كيرتيس موريسون ورافائيل ارينا. لذلك this is another important question.
Wait, I want to add to that one more thing. If you are Project Voyager or DV 2020 or DV 2021 and you have a family member or a good friend in the US who is a writer who would be interested in writing an article for a newspaper in where they live, let's call it op-ed, but we have someone on our team that will work with them and help them with that. So if you have a family member who knows how to write and wants to advocate for your situation in the newspaper so that the people of America know about the problem, email me. Have them email me, and I'll connect you with our member of our team that will help them with that.
Though he doesn't live in the United States, or that family
Wait. I said if they have a family member or a friend in the United States, not a foreign national. Foreign nationals are not able to really get their voice heard in our newspapers, just like I don't get my voice heard in Macedonia. It should be, yeah. But anyway, no, I'm just joking.
هنا يا يزيد اوكس بيقول لحضرتك هو ينصحك ان لو ليك اي فاميلي ممبر، لو ليك اي احد افراد عائلتك، اخ او اب او عمك او اي حاجه زي كده موجود في امريكا ويقدر يكتب القصه والمعاناه بتاعه حضرتك، فمكتب كيرتيس موريسون موجود فيه شخص يقدر يساعدك في الموضوع ده ويوصل صوتك للاعلام. لو عندك حد موجود في امريكا ويكون موجود ريزايد في امريكا بالفعل، اتفضل اتصل ايميل لكيرتيس موريسون curtis@curtismorrison law.com.
Yeah.
أنا رقم 7. This is another important one. Her number is 7,000, only 7,000, 2021 from Algeria, and she's in the lawsuit with us already. If she do you think she got chances and get an interview before the end of the fiscal year? And do you think her chances to get a regular just without the lawsuit been affected by joining the lawsuit?
I think her chances improved by participating in litigation. I think people that do not participate in litigation are at a disadvantage, and it's good that she's part of litigation.
هنا بيقول هو متأكد إن يا عايز جوير متأكد وبيأكد لك إن فرصك أو فرصك تزايدت بالليتيجيشن ولم تتناقص. Do DV 2020 players have the chance to visa after the fiscal year? I think this is a repeated one, right?
That's okay. I'll also answer it. But that the September 30th still applies until we get a judge's order. It's very possible that one of the many judges, I think there are 4 judges that are looking at DV 2021 cases, will carry over visas. It's too early to know that. You have to wait and see if that happens.
Okay. من المبكر جدا يا أبو زيد التوقع في هذا المضمار، لكن هو يتوقع انك ان شاء الله هتاخدوا قرار جيد. بيقول لحضرتك برضو لازم نستنى قرار القاضي، نص قرار القاضي هو اللي هيقول لنا احنا رايحين على فين. here.
Even if you win the case of good luck, that will be enough for all the plaintiffs to pass their interviews before the fiscal year. People say, win the case. And I need to clarify something. Our goal is not to win a lawsuit in the traditional sense. Our goal is to put visas in the hands of our plaintiffs so they can get on a plane and enter the U.S. on those visas. We do not need the glory or the celebration of winning a lawsuit. We need the visas. The reason.
This first.
Okay.
أمر مهم جدا لسفيان ماتشو وللكل. هدف السيد موريسون وأرينا ليس فقط الفوز بالقضية وإعلان الفوز هي فوزنا، لا، هدفه هو وصول التأشيرات ودخول المقابلات لكل المدعين، وهذا هو ما سيحتفل به إذا كان في احتفال، وهو ليس هدفه الاحتفال بالوين، هدفه الاحتفال بحصولك على التأشيرة والمقابلة على الأقل. Yes, sir.
So let me reinterpret his question. What if his question was, if you win the motion for preliminary injunction in Good Luck v. Biden, will that be enough for the plaintiffs to pass their interviews before the fiscal year? And the answer is we have to wait and see. The sooner we get that order, the more likely that it will happen. Let's be really frank and honest here. There's over 11,000 selectees, 24,000 plaintiffs. Some of you face other barriers besides the ones we're challenging. Some of you will not get visas because of a boundary being closed. Some of you will not get visas because you will have a false positive test for the tuberculosis test and need a separate medical exam that will not happen before September 30th. Or the result will not come before September 30th. And in that case, you would only get visas if they're carried over past the fiscal year. So there are other factors. Some of you will be determined that you are not eligible to enter the U.S. for your criminal history or your military history or something like that. So when people say, well, all of the plaintiffs, that's what you said. You said all the plaintiffs. No. All of the Good Luck plaintiffs will not get visas. We know that. Statistically, when you get a big group like this, you're going to have some that have issues that are different from the ones we challenge. That's why we tried to make sure that everyone had completed their DS-260. And then right after we got you on, we said, hey, has everyone submitted their documents? We want to make sure that everybody is as prepared as possible. And we want to get as many visas in hand as possible. That's our goal.
يا سفيان خليه يعيد يعيد ترجمة السؤال بتاعك. هل لو أخذنا قرار هل كل الناس هتقدر تقابل وكل الناس هتقدر تاخد فيزا؟ ما تنساش إن في ناس حتى كونهم في Good Luck plaintiffs مش معنى كده إنه مؤهل. في بعضهم عنده مشاكل صحية، عنده tuberculosis، عنده سل، أو عنده مشكلة صحية ستمنعه. ده مشكلة تانية. كسب قضية لكن ما قدرش لظروف صحية. في بعضهم عندهم سجل جنائي criminal history، دول برضه هيتم استثنائهم حتى لو كسبوا القضية هيرجعوا. احنا عارفين ان في ناس هتوصل وفي ناس مش هتوصل. نحن نقاتل من اجل ال 11,000 كيس اللي موجودين، ولكن هل ال 11,000 كيس دول احنا عارفين انهم هيوصلوا جميعا؟ لا، في حالات منهم هتبقى لظروفهم ولحالتهم مش كواليفايد. ده مشكلة أخرى، ولكننا سنجاهد من أجل 11,000 كيس. Yes, sir. Next.
Okay. Good job.
Do you have one more question? Or
no.
More?
Let's just keep going. Let's see if we can get through all 300.
Yeah, it's interesting. This case here, this is a repeated one. It happens a lot, and Christina takes care of this. So let's say ابني تخطى 21 عاما. My son just passed 21 years old now, and I'm with you in the lawsuit. شنجيب ذكره في القضية حتى. Should he mention him in the lawsuit or not? He's using Algerian slang, which
the lawsuit's already filed. We already mentioned him, or we didn't.
Yeah.
So
maybe he should know that his son is still under child protection. Maybe that is
right. Okay. So there's something called CISPA, the Child Protection Act, that sometimes protects visa immigrants, the derivative, the kids, even after they get over 21. But it's a math calculation that's a little complicated for DVs because it's based upon when the visa became available. It's not clear what that means to me in the context of DVs. So there's no harm in including him as a plaintiff in the lawsuit, but either you did it or you didn't. And if you want to change it, that decision, you need to do that now. I sent out the email with the
edit
with the edit instructions, gosh, over a week ago. So we shouldn't be having new edits come in. I know that there's like 500 emails that we still have to get through, and I would be really surprised if you're waiting to put in edits. That's not going to work. You need to get those in now, today, okay? So if you have an edit for the good luck complaint, and you have not told us about it, come on, tell us about it.
في حاجتين عايز اقول لك عليهم كيرتيس موريسون. اولا لو كنت عايز بتتكلم هل تجيب ذكر ابنك ولا لا، لازم تحط ابنك في القضيه، ده نمره واحد. وفي عنده حوالي 500 تعديل موجودين للإيديت، وهو قال لحضراتكم ان في إيديت، واي حد عنده إيديت يبعت اي تعديل، ابعت التعديل بتاعك على edit@kirtismorrisonlaw.com من فضلك. ده نمره واحد. نمره اثنين، بخصوص وصوله 21، احيانا وفي معظم الاحيان يتم السماح لابنك طالما كان سنه 18 وقت كتابتك للطلب وعليه. فلو سمحت اكتب ابنك واذكره في القضيه. مش موجود، ابعت edit للسيد موريسون على edit@kirtismorrisonlaw.com. What about 2021 especially embassy in Iraq? We answered that already. سيد موريسون بيطالب بتغيير الأولوية التي وضعتها الخارجية وجعل اللوتري أولويات الأولى. This is a little, it's not out of the box, but kind of in. So he's asking, can you argue how to push the Department of State to categorize as a first tier for the DV, put it in first priority, since they have only a physical year starting this day and this day? Is that a topic to argue about?
It is a very interesting question. Translate that. How do you say interesting question?
سؤال جميل.
Right. Okay. سؤال جميل.
It just looks like beautiful, but it's okay.
Okay. The reason it is an interesting question is we are saying it is unlawful for the State Department to choose their favorite visa category to prioritize. Because we are arguing it is unlawful, we cannot simultaneously argue that they need to do it and pick the visa category that is our favorite category. So what we are asking is for the prioritization scheme that is unlawful to be abolished, to be canceled, to not apply to our plaintiffs. We are not asking for a competitive prioritization scheme that's different. Congress said what the immigration law is. Congress didn't set a prioritization scheme. So the State Department doesn't get to set one, and we don't get to set one either.
بالنسبه لرحاب عوض وسؤالك، بيقول السؤال جميل وكويس انك سالت السؤال ده. من العبث اصلا انهم حطوا اولويات، حيث ان الكونجرس لما اقر قوانين الهجره لم يقر اولويات قبل اولويات، لم يحدث ذلك. موضوع كيرتيس موريسون وارينا في المحكمه سيدور حول تلك الاولويات وعدم مشروعيتها. فازاي واحنا بنقول ان الاولويات غير مشروعه نرجع ونقول حطنا في الاولويه الاولى؟ ولذلك السؤال ده مستبعد. Now there is a good question here. Comes from like at least 1,000 people. It says, thank you for your time and for all your effort. Did the delay and backlog in immigration 2021 and 2020, do you think it will affect 2022?
Great question. 2020, right. So DV 2022, it's smart that you are watching and paying attention now, because you will be impacted by the backlog. If someone's telling you differently, they're wrong. The reason is math. There are hundreds of thousands of documentarily qualified visa applicants in other categories than DVs that are waiting for interviews. The embassies have an enormous backlog, and it is getting bigger every month. As of the latest statistics from May 31st, we saw that it went up from March to April, from April to May, from May to June. The backlog is over 500,000 documentarily qualified family preference categories alone. So we know that the issues that are being faced by DV 2020 and DV 2021 will also face DV 2022, but you can't blame it all on DV 2021 and DV 2020. You've got to realize that there's other things going on. There's the whole Trump destroyed the State Department. I mean, he really did. They reorganized everything. And the way they did it is they let staffing deliberately let staffing decrease. A lot of people quit and they didn't replace them. And so embassies are not staffed what they need to be. The State Department itself is not staffed what it needs to be. And so going into DV 2022, you need to know that you will have challenges. Now, litigation is not an option right now. I don't want to talk to a DV 2022 selectee about a lawsuit, not before next year. Okay.
الأستاذ علي شريف المختار، سؤالك عظيم. لازم تعرف ان الباكلوج وان التراكمات تحدث باكثر وتزداد شهر بعد شهر من 2020 و2021، ولا نلوم في ذلك، والعبء في ذلك ليس فقط على دي في 2020 و2021، بل ان اداره ترامب هي التي سرحت الموظفين وسمحت لموظفين بالاستقالة ولم تعوض الموظفين في السفارات وفي KCC. لذلك تفاقمت المشكلة. هل يرى كيرتيس موريسون أن هذا سيؤثر على 2022؟ الإجابة نعم، يس، سيؤثر على 2022. هل احنا نحتاج محاكمة أو قضية ل 2022 حاليا؟ لا، ليس بعد. لا حاجة إلى ولا ضرورة ولا من المنطقي أن يرفع قضية ل 2022 الآن، فلننتظر ونرى ماذا سيحدث حتى بداية السنة الجديدة. You want to add anything?
No.
Okay. This is another good question here. Do you consider in Arabic, if I translate it exactly like Arabic, like Google Translation, it will be just a rude question. It says, do you consider that the government did not work with the Judge Mehta order when he explained and talked about Trump proclamation? Do you think that it's not a bad thing from the government already, and we can show that to the judge that they did not do what he said, they did not obey the order, did not work with the order, that he said when he said that proclamation, the president can stop the entry but cannot stop issuing visa?
I assume he's talking about the September 4th order?
Yep.
Okay. And then
and
the
how
same judge.
How did that affect 2021? Because if they agree, yeah.
Right. So Judge Mehta issued an order on September 4th for all you DV 2021 selectees who were not paying attention. What happened in September for DV 2020 is this. Judge Mehta issued an order on September 4th that gave priority to our Mohammed and Fong Jong plaintiffs and also plaintiffs in a couple other lawsuits. And but he said they needed to turn the program back on. They didn't. And on September 30th, he issued an order that reflected his knowledge of their bad faith. So for DV 2021, the question that was asked here was, do we need to tell the judge this? No, he knows that they did that. He's the one that called them out on it in his September 30th order. So we don't need to tell Judge Mehta what they did. He saw it, right? We need to focus on what's happening now.
بالنسبة لسؤال طارق الغندور، هل يعني نذكر القاضي بأنهم لم يمتثلوا للأمر الذي أصدرته في سبتمبر 4 2020؟ لا، القاضي مهتا يعرف جيدا أنهم لم يطيعوا قرار القاضي ولم ينفذوا قرار القاضي الصادر بخصوص 2020 والذي أمرهم فيه بتعديل وبدء البرنامج. لم يحدث ذلك والقاضي يعرف ذلك، فلن نضيع وقت. موريسون وأرينا لن يضيعوا وقتا في إظهار ذلك للقاضي، حيث أنه يراه بالفعل ويدرك ذلك بالفعل. هو من أصدر قرار سبتمبر وهو من أمامه القضايا حاليا.
I saw that. Lamia email me. Have him email me.
لو سمحت يا لمياء is a girl. لمياء لو سمحتي تراسلي كيرتيس موريسون على curtis@curtismorrisonlaw.com لو سمحتي. إذا تم حفظ التأشيرات هل سيكون مثلا؟ Now this is a repeated one as well, and it says if we don't get everything by the 30th and the judge reserved visas like 10,000 or something after the fiscal year at September 30th, do you think we're going to face the same destiny like 2020 and never get the visas done yet?
Something is true. If we do not get visas issued before September 30th, we lose the argument that we are entitled to urgency. We have an argument now that we are entitled to urgency. We lose that argument after September 30th.
لازم يا هشام يا حيرة تعرف ان احنا شغلنا كله على ما قبل 30 سبتمبر. لو وصلنا الى 30 سبتمبر فنعتبر خسرنا القضية. قضيتنا الحصول على قرار القاضي قبل 30 سبتمبر. Yes, sir.
Yep, that's it.
That's it. I'll just show you this one. What do you think? You want to answer this?
Do you know why the government treated us this way? Yeah, it's not going to help, but I'll answer it. I think that there are people working at the State Department right now, maybe watching this, and I know who some of you are, who are anti-immigrant, and they believed in Trump's policies and Stephen Miller's policies to restrict immigration. Let's take an example. Edward Ramatowski, for example, signed the order in 2017 in January that revoked the visas for predominantly Muslim countries for visas applicants that were on planes traveling into the U.S. He signed a memo that revoked their visas. This person does not belong in government. Anyone that signed that order does not belong in government. But let me tell you where he works right now. He works at the Bureau of Consular Affairs for the State Department under Anthony Blinken and President Joseph Biden. So I blame Biden for keeping all of these Trump flunkies on his team for why you're being treated this way.
عايز هنا موريسون عايز يقول لكم حاجه مهمه جدا بشان التويتر. لو فاكرين التويتر اللي قلبت الدنيا that day with that tweet you tweeted that everybody in the whole world said what's happening. So that's a really good chance to talk about this.
Let's talk about that, okay?
Okay. Let me translate to her what you said first.
There's a misunderstanding amongst the immigrant community that this has something to do with COVID and that it's just happening. And that's not the case. Translate and I'll go on.
الناس متصورة ان المشكلة هي كوفيد. كوفيد ليس المشكلة يا رحاب. المشكلة تعانت الحكومة السابقة وبقاء فلول منها مس إدوارد what's his last name?
Ramotaski.
Edward Ramotaski. Huh?
You're translating me. I didn't say his name just then. Anyway, that's okay.
Okay. Okay. إدوارد ده موجود من عصر ترامب وشافها وابتدى يقاوم ويغلظ القوانين ويحط العراقيل امام الدي في والإيميجريشن والإيميجرنتس كلهم والمهاجرين كلهم وابتدى يشتغل الشغل ده مع ترامب وهو على ظهر طائرة. الآن هذا الرجل يعمل تحت بلينكن وتحت الرئيس بايدن فلذلك هو يعرقل وهو كيرتيس موريسون يلوم بايدن لماذا تحتفظ بمثل هذا الشخص التابع لإدارة ترامب. Yes, sir.
I'm going to get another translator say here. You talk, you go on and on. I only said one sentence and you said more than one. Okay, so what I want to say is this. Decisions were made at the State Department for what you see happening now. And there were humans that work for the State Department that made those decisions. Those humans need to be exposed and be held accountable. And that is the purpose, that tweet that everybody got upset about because they misunderstood, that is the purpose of that tweet. I desperately want to expose the people at the State Department that are defending these anti-immigrant policies.
السيد موريسون يرى أن ما يحدث معكم هو من أشخاص معينين موجودين وما سيحدث من السيد موريسون هو كشف هؤلاء الأشخاص للقضاء ولحضراتكم وده هو ما يأخذه على عاتقه في قضايا حضراتكم. Next question. Do you have more time? That's 1 hour. 30.
Yeah, I got a little bit more time. Yeah.
One more? Okay. This is a complaint. Let's repeat a complaint about the confirmation. Why they never get the confirmation letters? I have a question here again. Yeah. This one here. In case of consolidating all litigations, Go and the others consolidate this time. How do you think this will affect chances for the plaintiffs?
I don't think that will happen.
ما يظنش إن ده هيحصل يا فوزي.
Yeah, they're different procedural postures. It's difficult to explain this in English, so I don't know how you could translate it. But basically, they're on a different path. The Go lawyers have chosen a different path for that lawsuit than the path that our lawsuit's on, and it's even a different path than the Mrs. Glazer's lawsuits are on. It's a different path that the Rosales lawsuit is on. The different path that the Ray lawsuit is on. All the lawsuits are on different paths. So I don't think that they could be consolidated. I think that he's hearing, Judge Mehta has decided to have a hearing on all three just so that all the government lawyers are there at the same time. They don't have excuses not to answer questions when they've got a room full of lawyers there.
لازم يا فوزي تعرف ان في طرق متعدده يتبعها المحامين في التقاضي، فالطريقه اللي يتبعها موريسون غير الطريقه التي يتبعها محامي غيره في قضيته. كل واحد فيهم واخد باث او طريق معين ووسيله معينه للتقاضي امام القاضي في القضيه المذكوره، وهو يستبعد ضمهم والكونسوليديت ليهم كلهم. ليه؟ علشان الاستراتيجي اللي هو بيتبعها مش الاستراتيجي اللي غيره بيتبعها، الطريقه اللي هو بيتبعها مش الطريقه اللي غيره بيتبعها.
I've been answering some questions in English when I can.
Yeah. But here's a long one from Daraji.
I've been working. I just typed an answer to this one. If you're, here's what he didn't say is where his file is right now. If you ask me if you can transfer your file, you have to start that conversation by telling me where your file is right now. If you, but having hope that the Baghdad embassy will open soon, I don't think is a good idea. I think that if that's where it's headed, I would go ahead and try to transfer that file now.
تمام. السؤال من دراجي وجاوب عليه المحامي. هنعمل سكيب وناخد اللي بعده. I want the DV 2022. I'm on last year university. This is 2022. It's not related to the case, so let's try Said Mوريسون. أرجو أن This one also is saying that he's not in any lawsuit in 2021. What do you think about him? You said already that Rosales is going to be, if it gets to be a certified class action,
right.
It will affect
Watch the Rosales case.
يا رشا المحامي موريسون جاوب على نفس السؤال ده وقال روزاليس اللي كانت جيكوب لو بقت كلاس اكشن فهي تغطي الغير مدعين. This one he said تحياتي Mr. Morrison. سؤالي تأخير الحصر في القدسيات على المقابلات هل سيشكل على أرضية يستند عليها القاضي متى إن كان هنا أشياء أخرى دي ضعيف لسياسيا واقتصاديا كما كانت يقول. This is a little complicated question.
Okay,
he's saying would that make a base for argument in front of Judge Mehta, the effect that happened to people on places like where he's from? He's from Palestine. People been affected politically and economically since Trump started this to them. Can we argue over that to the judge? If I can understand his Arabic,
yes,
a little bit
messed up. So thank you for this question. We made some arguments that were specific to before Judge Mehta for particular categories of our DV plaintiffs last year. We had some Cuban plaintiffs who were stuck in Cuba and they couldn't get to Georgetown. They couldn't get to Guyana because the border was closed. And we tried to get Judge Mehta to help with that. And he did not see a way that he could cut out any kind of special help for them in his September 4th or September 30th orders. Now, he maybe still could in his final judgment that he has not issued yet. So what I would say is it is not likely that arguments about a specific 1 out of 100 embassies is going to be helpful to getting us where we want to go, to get us the orders that we want, to get the visas in the hand. We can't be focusing on individual applications if we want to get the policy changed. That just won't work. Okay. So we probably will not be talking about that individual situation. We do have some plaintiffs from Palestine in good luck, and I definitely am aware of that, and I hope that we're able to get them in the U.S.
نبدأ من حيث انتهى ونقول ان هو عارف ان في بلينتيفز في جود لك من فلسطين، وهو بيأمل انه يحسن وضعه، انهم ان شاء الله يجيب لهم تأشيرات. لن يتطرق في كلامه مع القاضي عن قضايا فردية او فئوية، والتركيز هيكون على كل الموضوع وكل التأشيرات وكلهم كفئة واحدة. هو طبعا في سياسته بيرى انه ما يصحش انه هو ياخد حالات فردية، ده بيضعف شكل القضية بتاعته. القاضي مهدى بالفعل أصدر قرار قبل ذلك في شهر سبتمبر 2020، سبتمبر يوم 4 ويوم 29، وأصدر قرارين بهذا، وده فحوى وموضوع ولب الارجيومنت أمام القاضي. One more question?
Yeah, let's do one more.
Okay.
I've typed an answer to this one, so we'll do one more after his. Yeah, that's
okay. Okay, that's repeated. This is the complaint from DV 2020, and every time they hear about next month, that's their complaint.
Right. Let me tell you. What will you translate it for me? And because I want to respond.
Every time we hear a new date, we're fed up with this waiting.
Right, Mohammed. You may notice something. I have not given another date for. I think I made a prediction that was wrong. I thought that we would before the end of April. That was always like a goal. I remember, but after I realized that my prediction was wrong and it disappointed so many people, I'm not making predictions anymore. I'm saying it will happen when it will happen. And what that's causing is for hundreds of people to email me every day to say, is it today? Is it today? Trust me, I'm not going to keep it a secret. When that order is issued, that's going to be in every forum, all over the internet. Sayer will probably go live for 24 hours. He will stay online talking about it. He will be so excited when that order happens. It's not going to be a secret. So nobody needs to worry that they're going to miss out on this information. We will email all of our clients. We'll probably call you. We may send pigeons with messages tied to their legs. I mean, we will let you know when we get an order from Judge Mehta on the Gomez case.
بيقول هنا السؤال ده متكرر تملي بالنسبة له، وهو بالفعل توقف من انه يقول الشهر الجاي من مدة، لو تلاحظ يا محمد يا فاروق، والسبب في ذلك ان القرار ليس بيده، واحنا توقفنا عن ذلك. بيجيله مئات الايميلات يوميا بتسأله عن القرار بتاع القاضي امتى، القاضي النهارده، is it today. فالإجابة على ذلك ليس بعد، ولكن لما هيطلع قرار هتلاقوا موريسون موجود وبيقول على تويتاته كده، وهتلاقوا ساهر هيقعد هيحتفل 24 hours، هيحتفل لمدة 24 ساعة معاكم بذلك. البلانتيفز والكلاينتس عند موريسون هيوصلهم ايميل او هيتصل بيهم بالتليفون لو في حاجة. فلما يطلع قرار كلكم هتعرفوا، الناس بس بتستعجل القرار.
That's a good one to end on. We both got all excited.
Yeah. So this one here, he's from Sudan. Okay. Do you want this to be the last one?
I'd rather end on one from Sudan anyway.
Yeah, this one is from Sudan, I believe. إذا أنا دخلت السفارة وعملت مقابلة وتم رد يساوي قرار احترام الماضي، هل ده if he went to his interview last year and had his interview and everything, but he was refused because of the Muslim ban. Do you think he still have hope?
Yes.
2021, 2020.
No. He's a DV 2020. Yes, you still have hope. the Biden administration has said that they are not going to hold that against you. And so I do not expect that refusal to be a barrier. However, you still have to wait with the rest of the DV 2020s to see the final judgment from Judge Mehta.
ان شاء الله لسه عندك امل يا محمد يا ابراهيم. واداره بايدن قالت ان ده مش المفروض هيبقى عائق في طريقك، وكان من الظلم تطبيق ذلك عليك. وما سيحدث الان اننا سننتظر القاضي مهتا وقراره، وسننتظر ما سيقول بشأن حتى المسلم بان والمتضررين من المسلم بان خاصة في السودان. هو الأستاذ كان هيمشي لكن قال هياخد قرار من السودان. Last question.
Yeah.
Here. It's in English, so I'll leave it to you.
I'll read it. Thank you, Abu. Do you think good to send an email to embassy and ask them for interview since I received the DQ and ready email for scheduling? Interview location Abu Dhabi.
Case number Asia.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt.
6,000.
Don't email them every day. They don't want to see a crazy person. But, it doesn't hurt. Send them one email. Just leave all your
هنا من أبو ماجد بيقول هل تظن إن من يمكنني أن أرسل إلى السفارة في أبو ظبي وأنا رقمي 6000 في السفاره الامريكيه في ابو ظبي ووصلني الدي كيو؟ هل تظن ان انا ابعت لهم ايميلات استعجل؟ قال ايوه، بس ما تعملش زي المجنون وتتصل كتير، يعني ما تبعتش ايميل كل يوم علشان هم ممكن يعني يقلقوا ايه اللي بيحصل يعني. So yep. That's all.
1 hour and 48 minutes, our new record maybe.
Yeah, new record, yeah. I'm sorry, but they like you so much, and you know that. Do you want to tell them anything before we go, sir?
Thank you for your patience while we do everything we can to get visas in your hands.
شكرا لحضراتكم على صبركم بينما هو وفريقه يتابعون عمل كل شيء يقدروا يعملوه للوصول إلى مبتغاكم وتأشيرتكم إن شاء الله. Thank you, sir.
Great. Thank you. Have a good day. Bye.
Thank you. حضراتكم ده كان لقائنا مع المحامي كيرتيس موريسون 1:48 دقيقة. أنا متشكر جدا لحضراتكم، أنا تعبت جدا. إن شاء الله خير، إن شاء الله كلكم هتتبسطوا. أرجو إن إحنا نكون قدرنا نريح حضراتكم ولو نسبيا بالإجابة على أسئلتكم. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.